following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the adventure and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Dry up, America, because we're in South Florida, and it took us to get a little late because we're having those, daily lightning storms that are unreal. That, of course, is funny. There's people that think that's like Bill Gates controlling the weather. It's just South Florida, really. But that doesn't mean that isn't happening either. Who knows? Okay. But I thank God, and we'll talk about this as soon as I bring the Pet Health Guru on. Thank God I had my superhero cape in the vehicle, or else this show would not be possible. So let's bring on the Pet Health Guru.
Thank you, Dean. I'm here. It's not
and Ron, you can come too.
We're waiting for our afternoon storm here.
I was waiting for my invitation.
Yeah, I wasn't inviting you. I was just telling you to get on. And I'm glad we're now in this three-way because I just realized, which really annoyed me, that this, because of lightning, went crooked. Because of, the thunder, not the lightning, because the lightning wouldn't do it. So now we got to fix that. Look at that. I'm fixing it while I'm doing the show. Now,
if the lightning did move it, you'd be in big trouble.
Oh, no doubt. Actually, I have a story about that. But first, I must say that with all the tumult, I forgot to say it is the Adventures of Pipeman here on W4CY Radio. And this is the Positively Pipeman segment with the Pet Health Guru. Okay. But yes, I remember I was in summer camp as a little kid in Pennsylvania, and there was this massive storm, and me and this other kid were running back to the bunk, and that kid got hit by lightning. But check this out. Wait, it's wild. He was running, so when his knee was bent and his knee of his jeans were sticking out, that's what the lightning hit. So he had a hole in his jeans, but it didn't touch his body at all. Well, I was standing right next to him, so this isn't like I saw this happen. I was like, "What the hey?" But yeah, so it's funny because I was trying to beat the storm into the studio. I was unsuccessful. I got literally 2 blocks, literally, and we're talking about 2 real blocks, not like 2 city long. What people down here think is a block, like a New York block where it's actually a block. Okay. And literally 2 blocks away, and the storm hit. And as I was driving here, I'm hearing the lightning. The thunder. I'm like, uh-oh, I better hurry. So I stepped on it, and nope. So I was stuck out in the vehicle for a few minutes, and then I'm going so this is why I am the way I am is, listen, freaking out, panicking, getting anxiety about this stuff, it doesn't help anything. You just got to calm down for a second, take a breath, and come up with a solution. And that's what I did. And I'm sitting there, and because I was clear-headed, I thought, oh, my beach bag is always in the vehicle, almost always. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's the blanket that has the beach blanket, but it has like a waterproof lining to it. So I put that on me like a cape over my backpack. Otherwise, this computer would be drenched if I tried to come in, and we would definitely not have a show. You know. So yeah, I put that cape on, ran through the parking lot. I'm sure people in our building were like, "What the hell is going on?" It's Pipeman arriving to do the show with Pet Health Guru. That's what was going on. And then Florida almost had other plans too because Pet Health Guru had internet problems. We had our modem reset because lightning hit, and that was it. Boom, flicker, and that's all it took. But we're here now. And what I want to know is, did I get in to do this show because of Herbal Power, Pet Health Guru? Because I do take herbs.
Knowing about your past, and knowing that you've been doing some herbal therapies, yes, exactly. The healing power of the body itself. And that
Yes.
comes from only natural living things. And of course, herbs are an ancient plant. They've been on the earth forever. It's not like our modern vegetables that are all man made and lacking nutrients. They are loaded with especially minerals. And we need those minerals to survive.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, the more imbalanced you are, your whole endocrine system will be in balance. You will be healthier, happier, and maybe wiser.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get any more wise. That would really piss people off.
I know that feeling. It's like, how you feel today? I'm great, except I'm going to get better anyway.
Right? So actually, now that everything's calmed down a little bit, your internet's almost better than it ever is, right, Juan?
I agree. Yeah.
So maybe that's what we need. We needed the detox of the internet and the world with these thunderstorms to clear everything out so that you could do a successful show.
That's exactly right. I mean, we're electrical beings to start with. And when we got all this pollution and all this toxicity in the air and the EMFs and all that stuff, when that lightning comes through, it's knocking out that EMF too, which is a good thing, And of course, it's knocking down all the pollutants. And unfortunately, they do have to come down under the ground. So we're still going to be facing them somewhere along the line. And our vegetables and our fruits and stuff like that, but it's not nearly as bad because nature has a way of cleansing things. It's like, I eat a plant-based diet. The only thing is that I let the cows digest the grass first.
Oh, I love the way you put that. That's great.
Now, because we are electrical beings, if we do get hit by lightning, do we become the Flash or Pikachu?
I'm becoming the Flash. I'm already fast, so
Yeah.
I'm the Flash.
I would say so.
I know even I have a hard time keeping up with you when you walk.
Right? And my Flash T-shirt. Okay, today I'm wearing a Spider-Man T-shirt actually, but my Flash T-shirt. Okay, it fits me like it was made for me. So, come on, I need the lightning now just to get the superpowers.
Absolutely.
I got my cape. I got my shirt. All I need is the lightning.
It's interesting, Dean, that, mentioning you did that one, just mentioned your energy. I get the same comments here, and I'm older than you are. But how is it that we are able to keep going the way we do, and the youngsters can't keep up with us anymore?
I think it's their mindset and their laziness. Those are two of the options. But most importantly, it's the crap they're putting in their body.
Absolutely. Food, people don't realize food is a dual transport system. You're bringing in nutrients, okay, hopefully good nutrients, and taking out toxins. Well, if you're looking at the most of our foods today in the center of the supermarket, you're putting in toxins and hoping to get some nutrition out of it. It just doesn't work right.
Mm-hmm. And we don't even know what we're eating. Like, for me, when I changed how I started eating and started doing more of like an herbal therapy, is I was amazed at stuff I saw on these labels, because then all of a sudden, what used to be like a half an hour trip to the grocery store turned into like 4 hours. Because it's not that way now, but in the beginning, when
Yeah.
you're reading every label, and like it just blows your mind what's in these things. Like I remember two things that really blew my mind most in the beginning. Was one was the fact that uh, you can go to Whole Foods, you can buy the Live 365 brand in the gluten-free department. And sometimes I do get gluten-free, not because of gluten-free, but because of the health aspects for my conditions. And it's just a certain types of bread. It's not about the gluten.
Right.
But and then you read the sign and it says may contain gluten. That does not mean gluten free. It may mean glutenless, no added gluten, but it's not gluten free. And then, oh, there's actually three things. Okay. So another one is when you go into that 365 brand and you read the packages, they say USDA approved. They also say organic. They also say made in China. That's impossible. You cannot have organic food in the United States that was made in China. It can't be USDA approved either. So read labels is the point. Like, here's the thing now of food that blew my mind the most, Bill, was that I got a bag of frozen broccoli and one of the ingredients was sugar. Why? Why do we want sugar in our broccoli? That
It's-
blew my mind.
Yes, it does. It really does. It was interesting because yesterday I got in a discussion with somebody that was talking about brands, and they were talking about salt, sea salt. Well, this so-called great brand on the market was labeled. They didn't call it sea salt; they called it Himalayan sea crystals and trademarked it. So
Ooh.
obviously that made it different. But the funny thing is, they did a comparison about against like Celtic salt and Himalayan salt and one other one. The interesting thing was is the Himalayan sea salt that they compared it to. Countries of origin were Pakistan, Tibet, Brazil, and Peru. Now, last time I looked at the map, Brazil and Peru weren't exactly close to the Himalayan mountains, are they?
I don't think so. Is there like a theme park that has like the Himalayan as a ride?
It
I
must
think
be.
they have it at Epcot, no?
No, but when I explained it, what they're doing is they're buying commercial bulk salts is all they're doing. Okay, that's not been tested or anything else. They're shipping it to these countries that are then processing it. So
Mm,
they may contain microplastics and contaminants and things like that. So they're actually taking the real stuff that they had, just change the name of it, and then make the real stuff look bad.
yeah.
I mean, it was just, and the people who I was discussing it with, they're like all rolling their eyes and like, why would they do that? You
Well,
know?
Profit.
that's like with the broccoli thing. You know what I realize? Now I understand why as a child I did not like broccoli or other green vegetables, and as an adult I do. Because as a child there was no sugar in my frickin' broccoli, so it didn't taste good to me.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the point. Make everything taste good so that people will buy it.
That's all it is. Now, another thing, when we brought up this topic today about herbs, I don't know if you recall, but when we were doing the show back in the old studio, and we started talking about herbals on it and that sort of thing, and we kind of brought up the fact that sometimes the industry would allow for our talks on raw feeding and of animals and that sort of thing. But the veterinarians would, if they gave me that, okay, Bill, we'll give you the food. But dogs and cats do not season their food. And it was driving me crazy, because we're using herbs. And literally, we were driving back, Dr. Diane and I were driving back from the studio, and it hit me. It's like, They don't drink out of Zephyr Hill bottles. They drink out of puddles and ponds. And whatever that water is sitting in, that's an herbal tea.
Yeah.
And that's really what kicked off our whole herbal revolution, as we called it, because now we understood where it was coming from and where those minerals were coming from. They're coming from the water primarily, not from eating, a basil salad or dandelion salad or anything of that nature. It's from the water.
Well, what's funny about that is I was drinking, let's see, is this it? Yeah, yeah. Here you go. Here you go.
Zephyr Hill.
Spring water. And I was just looking at this yesterday and I'm like, they must be doing something to process this water because otherwise I would see stuff in it. That's what I was thinking. Like my ex-father-in-law, his house had a spring right by the house. That's how growing up they drank water. I've gone to that spring, I've gotten the water, but it's never this freaking clear.
No, it's not. I mean, it's ultra filtered. And by the way, Zephyr Hill water, okay, is processed in Zephyr Hill, and the name comes from the processing plant, not from the actual spring.
And you know what else I've found too? To be honest, I drink a lot of water. I don't like bottled spring water. I think it tastes nasty, to be honest.
Well,
So
what they're doing is they're adding synthetic salts to it. It's not natural.
that's why I don't like it because there's this taste to it that I never have liked, but I've drank out of actual springs and it doesn't taste like that out of an actual spring.
Yeah.
I would actually prefer a purified water than a spring water to drink if I'm going to drink out of a water bottle.
Well, the thing is too, it's dead water. All the bottled water is basically dead. Over at my Paleo Pet, we actually have a machine that has been on the market for 35, 40, maybe more years that actually ionizes the water, changes the pH to whatever you want, and it's now living water, just like real spring water would be. And I mean, I can testify that I've been using it for 5 years now. And then within the first month of using it, and I had to go through a little period what pH was best for my body. And I even add a little extra Himalayan sea salt, the real stuff, to the water. My arthritis went away in less than a month's time.
Nice.
And, I mean, that was one. Now we also have another unit that just came in, another new technology, which is light infused water. Light is energy. And again, we're getting tremendous results with using these types of waters, both not only in ingesting it, but like for treating cuts, burns, watering plants. I saw one of my friends had bought some herbs to grow in the house, so she had them, and she forgot about them, and they were like 3/4 crispy critters, and she actually used the oxygen infused water on that plant, and within an hour's time, it was back fully nourished.
Wow. Well, I also think about too when you get this bottled water, is specifically the spring water. I think to myself, from all the traveling, heat, whatever it's gone through, I would tend to think that there would be algae or some other stuff forming in the water throughout the period of time if they're not doing anything to it.
It's, well, first off, the whole purpose for bottled water is not to sell you water. It's to sell the water companies a lot of plastic bottles, cheap plastic bottles. And we know what that's doing to the environment. But so the cheaper the bottle, first off, the profit margin on that stuff, because they're getting a lot of this municipal water for free or 1 or 2 cents a gallon, and so it's a tremendous markup on this stuff. But also, you mentioned the heat and all that stuff. When they ship in a truck, and that truck is 150 degrees on the backside, those phthalates, those plasticizers, the BPA, all that is leaching into the water. So you're getting a super Slurpee of plastic.
Yeah, exactly. Tasty.
Yeah.
So my question here is like we know water is very important. It keeps you hydrated and all that. But why is it that with some waters, not all of them, but with some of them, after you drink it, it makes your mouth feel dry? What would be causing that?
Well, that's because it's number one, it's not living water. So actually, for the body to try to utilize it, it has to pull enzymes and things which are coming out in your mucous membrane. So it's actually drawing things out. It's actually drawing the minerals actually out as well.
Hmm. So what's your you know, what's the let's first say what's the herbal revolution for pets?
Well, basically, well, of course, in the 60 years that I've been in the industry, I've watched the lifespan of our pets go from, like on dogs, 20 to 30 years down to 8 to 10 years, maybe 12 if you're lucky. Cats should be over 30. Again, they're like at 15. And this is with modern medical and modern scientific methods of doing things. And of course, that involves all kinds of different medicinals that are not natural, all the synthetics, all the injectables that are not that are synthetic, all these so-called flea treatments, heartworm treatments, preventatives that don't prevent anything are all chemically based. And we've kind of, people like myself and there you got others in the industry, started looking at how did how did my great grandma get rid of every single disease known to mankind? And of course, the number one cure for everything was chicken soup, bone broth. And it was never fixed the same way twice. Okay, it was always fresh chicken. You went out in the coop and grabbed one, and you know, it never got cold. Let me put it that way. In the pot, any fruit, any vegetables that you put into it were local and, um, in season, fresh. But then there was also a whole bunch of different herbs that went into it, depending on what season it was, what was seasonal then, and of course what kind of ailments might be popping up. And it was the power of those herbs that we saw curing ourselves back then. Why not apply them to the animals?
Mm.
And of course, when I talk about the puddles, okay, we actually observe animals after a rainstorm. Actually, if you had a dog with you right now and it's raining there, if you took them out, they will smell every puddle they walk past,
Yeah.
but they don't drink until you hit number 21, 22, 23. And then you're out there in the rain holding the umbrella screaming, don't drink the dirty water. What made that one different? The minerals that were in it. And normally those minerals are coming up because of the vegetation, and those are herbals. I was asked, what's the difference between an herb and a botanical? Well, just somebody decided to name it differently. That's all. Culinary herbs, spices, same thing. These are all botanicals. That's really what they are. And they're not medicinal herbs. They're not supplements. They are real food. They're the real deal. And our government has outlawed a lot of different plants, reclassified them from food to ornamental or just out and out banned them so that we can't use them.
Hmm. Well, isn't that fun? So I have to say too, I want to ask you, what about this whole fascination with herbal teas nowadays? What's your opinion on all the different, like, there's even stores that they have all different herbal teas.
They serve a purpose. The problem is just like everything else in our system of free enterprise and labeling laws and government interference, you never know what you're really getting. That tea bag is made of plastic. We're right back to where we were. We're pouring hot water over it. It's going to release that BPA and phthalates into the tea. We really don't do very much testing on the backside as to what the ingredients really are. Let's say you're buying chamomile tea. How do you know there's chamomile in it? How much is in it? How many fillers did they put into it? How was it raised? Was it raised organically or, fair trade? Was it treated with anything before it was while they were processing it? The chopping and so things don't stick together and things like that. Those all are a part of that whole process. So for the most part, most of them don't work unless you're raising your own herbs, drying your own herbs, and then putting it into your own process of making tea.
So, what other advice would you give our listeners about this herbal revolution for both? If you were to give like your top advice now, what would it be?
Okay, first off, you find, and if this is very easy to do today because you have the whole medical community telling you everything that you need to do for your animals and for yourself. You're diagnosing things that don't even exist. But if you have an issue, any kind of health concern, what you then do is find the food that's going to correct it, whether it's a vitamin deficiency, a mineral deficiency, hormone imbalance. You just find the foods that contain those products, and you want to be as close to nature as you can. And if you're a vegetarian, a vegan, of course, on the human side, you're going to be eating a lot of plant-based. So you got to find the foods that actually contain the real stuff. And most herbs are raised on regenerative farms, so you've got most of the minerals still in the soil. When we look at our modern vegetables, okay, they actually fertilize with 3 minerals. We need 90. I want to know what we do about the other 87. We think we're getting it from our food, but if the soil is deplete, we're not going to get any of that. So we have to go back to where it's raised as naturally as possible, and you find the symptoms, and you can then specialize in different herbs. For instance, I know in my experience that the body has to cleanse itself, so we have to find foods basically that are going to clean out the filters. Number one, the liver, the kidney, the lymphatic system. We got to get that crap out of our system. Then you look at different things like spirulina and chlorella, which are sponges and antioxidants that are going to help pull that stuff at a cellular level and get it out of the body. And then of course you can still go into what modern medicine has done, and instead of using their extracts, use the real thing. So if you're in pain, you can use white willow bark, meadowsweet. That was the core of aspirin. Turmeric as an inflammatory. There's literally all over the world, there is a plant that will do everything. Getting rid of parasites, getting rid of inflammation. Like I say, cleaning out the liver, the kidney, cleaning out those filters, helping your joints, reducing down the pain, rebuilding cartilage. All these things are a big part of it. And of course, I talked a little bit in the beginning about light infused water, and that, in the 1800s, every hospital, every treating facility had a solarium or a place outside where you sat in the sun and activated those minerals that you just ate with your herbal teas or in your herbal foods, whatever. And of course, this can be mixed in, if you're doing a species appropriate diet on a dog or cat, so it's a meat diet, you just mix it right in with it, and they get healthier and healthier and healthier, no matter how you look at it. And again, variety and rotation is important. You don't want to take the same thing every day because your body needs different things. So we have to supply that on an ongoing basis. That's the easiest way to do it.
So tell everybody how they can reach out to you, not only your store, but online, your podcast, your show, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, our retail store, My Paleo Pet Health Cafe, is now open in Pompano Beach, and expanded the hours, that sort of thing. We have all the different products that you need for health, basically. We're there 5 days a week. Okay, call for the hours, call for the address, 954 971-2500. You can also reach us through Pet Health Cafe, my podcast, um, every Thursday night live, YouTube sometimes.
Which, by the way, having to do with that YouTube debacle, okay? Right after we're done, like 5 minutes after we're done, call me
Okay.
because I want to talk to you about something too. That
Okay.
also helps with that debacle. Well, not helps with it, but helps counteract it.
Right.
But anyway,
Facebook and a number of other venues. So I mean, you can find us wherever you look. iHeartRadio if you just want to listen to it while you're driving down the highway. Um, and we do consultations. We do have a new education center we're opening up in the very near future, where you'll be able to come in and see interactive videos, that sort of thing, on different health products, on different health conditions, how you can do things naturally. We will also have lectures and guest speakers in there, do Zoom calls. We're looking at, in the plans and in the works, a whole bunch of things. And, we enjoy when you come in. We invite you to come in. And generally speaking, you'll find me out front when you come in, greeting and answering any questions that you might have.
and I'm even going to add that if they just go to pethealthcafe.com, no matter how they want to listen or watch the podcast, they can find it there. And there's even icons to every app. So if they don't want to go to iHeartRadio, they want to go to Apple Podcasts, they want to go to Amazon, they want to go, there's over 100 of them, so I'm not going to mention them all. But wherever you listen to your podcast, you could hear Pet Health Cafe.
That's right. And we encourage you to do that. Because, too, if you're new to the concept, if you listen to those podcasts before you come into the store, you'll have your questions already formulated. And it saves me a lot of time. I can narrow it down to what your actual needs are. And we can help, put people and pets on a healthy path.
Let's do it. You are the pet health guru, and thank God for you. And it even helped with my superhuman powers to get in to do the show. And look at the power of both of our energies. There was not one problem during the whole show. There was a problem before we got together. And now we control the weather.
Yes. It's all energy. It's our thoughts.
Exactly, 100%. And then, Juan, I hope the weather isn't so bad that your guppies swim away from home.
I hope so.
I hope you have a backup plan. If not, call the pet health guru. So we are, okay, so everybody's got to pay attention because there might be an announcement coming in the next week or two of a new addition to the Pipeman radio tour, and it is huge if it happens. We will see. Pay attention. But for now, we are going to do it. Okay, so you guys stick around because if you want to win tickets to Rocklahoma is on Labor Day weekend. It is the coolest, best camping festival in the United States of America, and it has Slayer headlining. That is a rare occurrence going on right now, and there's a whole bunch of other bands, but this is a really fun festival. Join the Pipeman there. You have a chance to win. Juan is going to run the commercial so you can see more about it and who's playing. And then you just go to any of my socials at Pipeman Radio and message me and tell me you want to go to Rocklahoma. And let's see if you can win. In the meantime, keep your pets healthy. Keep your humans healthy. Every Monday, we're here with the Pet Health Guru. Okay. We also talk about other positively Pipeman stuff. This is if you have a business or you're a human being, you want to tune into this segment of the Adventures of Pipeman. So thanks for being here on the Adventures of Pipeman, the Positively Pipeman segment on W4CY Radio. Roll it, Juan.
It's here, Rocklahoma, celebrating its 20th anniversary, and for the first time ever, Slayer. And the return of Godsmack. And Papa Roach. Rocklahoma is back Labor Day weekend, September 4th through 6th, with Slayer, celebrating the 40th anniversary of Rain and Blood, Godsmack, Papa Roach, also Stone Temple Pilots, The Pretty Reckless, Black Label Society, Jet, Wolfmother, Hollywood Undead, Dropkick Murphys, and Cypress Hill. Rocklahoma 2026, 20 years. Slayer, Godsmack, Papa Roach, Stone Temple Pilots, Cypress Hill, and so many more. Labor Day weekend, September 4th through 6th in Pryor, Oklahoma. Go to www.rocklahoma.com for all ticket and festival information. Don't miss Labor Day weekend's #1 rock and roll party, Rocklahoma.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.